Kojiki, the Pheasant's mission. 1. In the vast heavens above, Amaterasu Amakami, the great sun goddess, spoke to her child, Ame no Oshiamimi no Mikoto. The land you see below, the rich and abundant Toyo Ashihara no Mizuho no Kuni, is the realm you are destined to govern. She then instructed him to descend immediately and take control. Mikoto respectfully obeyed and began his descent. However, when he arrived at the floating bridge of heaven and gazed down upon the land, he saw powerful deities rampaging wildly and causing great turmoil below. Alarmed, Mikoto hastily returned and reported this to the great goddess. Upon hearing this, the great goddess and Takanamasabai no Kami convened a grand assembly of deities at the heavenly plain of the Ame no Yasu River. There, they declared, that land of Mizuho below is meant to be ruled by our descendants. Yet now, ferocious and unruly deities run rampant there. Who should we send to pacify them and make them comply with our will? After much deliberation, the wise deity Amoikane no Kami proposed. For this task, it would be best to send Ame no Hohi no Kami. Thus, the great goddess immediately dispatched Ame no Hohi no Kami. However, upon reaching the land below, Ame no Hohi no Kami ended up becoming a subordinate to Okyuni Nushi no Kami. 3 years passed, and he sent no word back to the heavens. So the great goddess and Takanamasabai no Kami once again summoned a great assembly of deities. Ame no Hohi no Kami has yet to return. Who should we send this time? They inquired. Amoikane no Kami suggested. In that case, perhaps Ame no Wakahiko, the son of Amatsu Kunidama no Kami, would be suitable. Following this advice, the great goddess bestowed Ame no Wakahiko with a splendid bow and arrow and sent him down to the earthly realm. However, upon arriving below, Ame no Wakahiko, despite already having a proper heavenly wife, took Okyuni Nushi no Kami's daughter, Shidetaruime, as his wife. Not only that, but he also schemed to claim Toyo Ashihara no Mizuho no Kuni for himself. 8 years passed, and he sent no response back to the heavens. The great goddess and Takanamasabai no Kami gathered the deities once more and said, Ame no Wakahiko, whom we sent a second time, has also failed to return. Why does he remain in the earthly realm for so long? We wish to demand an explanation and bring him back. Who should we send for this task? Amoikane no Kami proposed. In that case, the pheasant named Nanakim would be suitable. The great goddess and Takanamasabai no Kami summoned Nanakim and instructed her. You are to go and reprimand Ame no Wakahiko. Tell him that he was sent to Mizuho no Kuni to subdue its deities as we commanded. Why, then, has he not sent any response for 8 years? Ask him for an explanation and bring back his reply. Nanakim descended from the heavens, traveling far and wide, and perched on a maple tree near the gate of Ame no Wakahiko's residence. From there, she delivered the message exactly as instructed by the great goddess. Upon hearing the words of the pheasant, a woman serving Ame no Wakahiko, named Ame no Sakumi, said to him, There is an annoying bird crying over there. You should quickly shoot it down. Ame no Wakahiko said, Very well, and took out the bow and arrow bestowed upon him by the great goddess. Without hesitation, he shot and killed the pheasant. The arrow pierced through Nanakim's chest and, in a reverse motion, soared up to the heavens. It eventually landed on the river bank of the Ame no Yasu River, where Amaterasu Amakami and Takanamasabai no Kami were present. Takanamasabai no Kami picked up the arrow and noticed blood on its feathers. Holding the arrow, he remarked, This is the arrow we sent with Ame no Wakahiko, and showed it to the assembled deities. He then declared, If this arrow returned because Wakahiko shot at wicked deities, may no harm come to him. However, if Wakahiko harbors wicked intentions, let this arrow strike and kill him. With these words, Takanamasabai no Kami thrust the arrow with great force back through the hole it had come from in the heavens. The arrow descended, striking Ame no Wakahiko square in the chest as he lay on his back in the earthly realm, instantly killing him. Wakahiko's wife, Shidetaruime, was horrified. She screamed and wept loudly in despair. Her cries carried on the wind and reached the heavens, where they were heard by Wakahiko's father, Amatsu Kunidama no Kami, along with Wakahiko's true wife and their children. Shocked by the news, they descended to the earthly realm. Overwhelmed with grief, they built a mourning hut, called a moya, where Wakahiko's body was laid to rest. As part of the funeral rites, they enlisted various birds for ceremonial roles: a heron to sweep the ground, a kingfisher to fetch fish offerings, a sparrow to pound rice for offerings, and a pheasant to act as the mourner. For 8 days and nights, they played instruments and held rites beside Wakahiko's body to console his departed soul. While these mourning rites were taking place, Takahiko no Kami, the brother of Shidetsuruime and a child of Okyuni no Kami, came to offer his condolences. Upon seeing him, Wakahiko's father, wife, and children were astonished. They clung to his hands and feet, exclaiming, "Oh, you're alive? Thank goodness, you didn't die." Overwhelmed with joy, they all burst into tears of relief and happiness. This misunderstanding arose because Takahiko no Kami's appearance and demeanor so closely resembled Ame no Wakahiko's that everyone instinctively assumed it was him. However, Takahiko no Kami became furious and turned bright red with anger. "What nonsense is this?" he shouted. "I've come here to offer my condolences, and you dare compare me to a filthy corpse?" Enraged, he drew his long sword and, with a single motion, tore the mourning hut to pieces. Kicking and scattering everything in his path, he stormed away, still fuming. At that moment, Shidetsuruime, Wakahiko's sister, sang a poem to clarify the situation and inform Wakahiko's father and his wife and children that the dignified young deity who had just left was none other than her brother, Takahiko no Kami. 2. Amaterasu Amakami, faced with these circumstances, once again consulted the assembled deities on whom to send this time. Thinking deeply, Amahikane no Kami and all the other deities replied, "In this case, there is no one else to send but Obari no Kami, who resides in the Ame no Iwaya cave at the upper reaches of the Ame no Yasu River, or his child, Take Mikazuchi no Kami. Either of them would be most suitable. However, Obari no Kami has dammed the river, making it impassable. Therefore, sending an ordinary deity would be difficult. You might first dispatch Ame no Kaku no Kami to convey the situation and hear Obari no Kami's thoughts on the matter." Upon hearing this, the great goddess quickly sent Ame no Kaku no Kami to deliver the message. When Ame no Kaku no Kami reached Obari no Kami, the deity responded, "This is an immense honor. I could certainly go myself as your envoy, but in matters such as these, I believe my child, Take Mikazuchi no Kami, would be far more capable." Thus, Obari no Kami promptly sent Take Mikazuchi no Kami to appear before the great goddess. Amaterasu Amakami, after receiving Take Mikazuchi no Kami, dispatched him along with another deity, Ame no Torifune no Kami. The two deities descended to the coast of Izumo province, specifically to a place called Inasa Beach. They each drew their long swords, thrust them into the sea, and, sitting cross-legged atop the hills, began negotiations with Okyuni no Kami. "We have come as emissaries of Amaterasu Amakami and Takama Masabai no Kami," they announced. "The great goddess has declared that the land of Ashihara no Nakitsukuni, which you govern, is destined to be ruled by her child. Will you comply with her divine command and yield this land completely? Or will you refuse?" To this, Okyuni no Kami replied, "This is not a decision I can make on my own. My son, Yegoto no Kami, will provide an answer. However, he is currently away fishing at Cape Miho, so I ask for your patience." When Take Mikazuchi no Kami heard this, he immediately sent Ame no Torifune no Kami to Cape Miho to summon Koto no Kami. Upon his arrival, the emissary relayed the same message as before. Koto no Kami, upon hearing this, turned to his father, Okyuni no Kami, and said, "The command from the heavenly gods is indeed most honorable. As instructed, I recommend you relinquish this land to the heavenly child." With that, Koto no Kami performed a ritual gesture and stepped onto the boat he had used to return. As he struck the boat with an incantation, it instantly transformed into a lush, green hedge. Quickly, Kodoshire Nushi concealed himself within this hedge, disappearing entirely. Take Mikazuchi no Kami then turned to Okyuni Nushi no Kami and asked, Kodoshire Nushi no Kami has spoken thus, but are there any others among your children who might hold a different opinion? Okyuni Nushi no Kami replied, Besides Kodoshire Nushi no Kami, I have another son named Take Minakata no Kami. That is all. As they spoke, Take Minakata no Kami appeared, carrying in both hands a massive boulder so large that it would take 1,000 men to move it. He approached them, saying, Who dares come to my land, whispering behind my back? Come forward. Let us test our strength. First, let me grab your hand and see what you're made of. With that, he tossed aside the boulder and strode toward Take Mikazuchi no Kami. Seizing Take Mikazuchi's hand abruptly, he was startled to find it transform into a pillar of solid ice. While Take Minakata no Kami hesitated in surprise, the icy hand suddenly shifted again, this time into the blade of a sword. Overcome with fear, Take Minakata no Kami began to back away timidly. Seizing the moment, Take Mikazuchi no Kami declared, Now it's my turn. Grasping Take Minakata's wrist firmly, he crushed it effortlessly as though it were a fragile insect. The mangled hand was torn off and flung into the distance with a resounding toss. Take Minakata no Kami turned pale and ran away with all his might. Take Mikazuchi no Kami shouted, Stop right there, and relentlessly chased after him. The pursuit continued until Take Minakata no Kami was cornered near Lake Suwa in Shinano. Take Mikazuchi no Kami was ready to twist and kill him on the spot, but Take Minakata no Kami, trembling with fear, pleaded desperately. I fully surrender. Please, spare my life. I swear never to set foot outside of Shinano. Furthermore, as my father and brother have declared, this Ashihara no Nakatsukuni will be given to the heavenly child of the gods. He prostrated himself in submission and offered his apology. With that, Take Mikazuchi no Kami returned to Izumo and confronted Okyuni Nushi no Kami, saying, Both of your sons have pledged loyalty to the heavenly command. Surely, you have no further objections now. What say you? Okyuni Nushi no Kami replied, I have no objections whatsoever. As decreed, I offer this land of Ashihara no Nakatsukuni entirely to the heavenly child. I only have one request, please build me a magnificent shrine, as grand and sturdy as the palace of the heavenly gods. If this is granted, I will serve the descendants of the heavenly deities from afar for all eternity. Though I have many other children besides Kodoshire Nushi no Kami, none will voice any grievances as long as Kodoshire Nushi faithfully serves the heavenly child. Having said this, Okyuni Nushi no Kami nobly ended his life on the spot. Take Mikazuchi no Kami then promptly built a grand and splendid shrine at a place called Takishi Beach in the land of Izumo, fulfilling Okyuni Nushi no Kami's request. Additionally, he appointed Kushi Adama no Kami as the shrine chef to prepare offerings. Then, Yatama no Kami transformed into a sea urchin and brought up soil from the ocean floor. Using this, he crafted various earthenware dishes for offerings. Next, he used the stalks of a type of seaweed to create a fire drill and a fire borer. By rubbing them together, he produced fire. Turning to Take Mikazuchi no Kami, he said, With this fire I have kindled, I pledge to keep the hearth burning so constantly that soot will accumulate throughout, making it resemble the heavenly kitchens of the gods. I will stoke the fire until the earth beneath the hearth becomes as solid as the bedrock below. Furthermore, I will prepare abundant dishes of great sea bass caught by the fishers, cooking them into splendid feasts worthy of the heavenly gods' dining. These offerings shall be made unfailingly and without interruption. Hearing this, Take Mikazuchi no Kami felt assured and ascended back to the heavens. There, he reported everything in detail to Amaterasu Amakami and to Kamimisuhi no Kami.